is the superstar of the European Championships outdoors last year, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. For the first chance to see Jakob Ingebrigtsen in action. Now the world junior record holder. The wonderful win over Teferi. And he's just tucking on the outside, staring clear of trouble at this early stage. And it looks to me at this stage a little quicker than the first heat, with Ingebrigtsen making his way on the outside. On the inside we have Sasinek in the lead, but now that he's been passed, and there's no messing about here by this super talent. As they come up, we can take a check on the time soon when they're coming up to 300 meters. And settling it in second place, the Dane, Nick Jensen. Yes, it's certainly quicker. Ingebrigtsen is not messing around with this. He's not leaving anything to chance. He knows his form, he knows his class, and he's gone through in 60.2, substantially quicker than Heat 1. So the other runners ought to be pleased that he's making their work easy for them. Ordóñez, well, he won the Spanish Championships at this. We've seen him, of course, come to the fore recently at 800 meters. But he's obviously a real talent at 1500 as well. And he's running nicely in second place. The British crowd spurring on Fitzgibbon, who they can see has now moved up into fifth overall. The Belgian athlete, Ismail Debjani, also well placed. They come up to 4 laps to go. Ingebrigtsen pushing on. Not at a dramatically quick pace, but just making sure it's honest. Denisel running for France. Oh, on a speed through on the inside, but Ingebrigtsen won't have that. He wants to hold on to his lead ahead of the Belgian. And Ordóñez still tucking in second place. And remember, it's only 2 sure to go through. Denisel, the Frenchman, in the dark blue colours, in third place, fourth place. But it's still Jakob Ingebrigtsen leading from Saul Ordóñez. They'll come up this time to the 1200 metre point. 1000 metre point, I should say. And Ordóñez just challenging Ingebrigtsen on the outside, but Ingebrigtsen determined to hold on to that lead, determined to control the race, which he's certainly doing at this stage. Ordóñez just behind him. 2:45.08 on the clock. And Ingebrigtsen looking really good here. He's been controlling this race from ever since the end of the first lap. And the battle on for the other places. But Ordóñez looking good in second place, just behind him. And the top 5 now seem to have got clear. Fitzgibbon still very much up there. Debjani, the Belgian, in third place with Fitzgibbon, then Denisel. So up the bell, it is Ingebrigtsen who leads from Ordóñez. And it's certainly much quicker than the first heat, so there could be more times to play, but there's a big burst from the back coming through as well. Just on the outside there, Sasinek finishing strongly. But Ingebrigtsen, oh, and off the track. We'll come back to that in a moment. But it's Ingebrigtsen who leads them through. And indeed takes it. And it was Ordóñez who moved off the tack just when he'd been looking good in second place. So I'm not sure what went wrong with him, but no doubt about the class and the form of Jakob Ingebrigtsen as he came through to take that race.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen, only 90 minutes after his qualifier in the 1500 metres. First 4 in both of the 2 heats to go through, along with the 4 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. So just to give you the full lineup as they get themselves sorted out: Ratanen of Finland, Batzel Myers from Germany, Leanderson Sweden, Andressian Netherlands, Bedrani of France, Nikolaev of Russia, competing as an authorised neutral athlete, Travers of Ireland, Andresen of Iceland, Orth of Germany, Svala Norway, Ozdemir Turkey, Bossi of Spain, Buchat of Great Britain, Ivaneski of Macedonia, Gressier, France, Atkin, also of Great Britain, and Ingebrigtsen of Norway. Well, it's the two Frenchmen, Gressier and Bedrani, who are leading the way at the moment. Jimmy Gressier, terrific cross-country runner. 21 years of age. I'm sure he'll be in action, as we've talked about, with the European Under-23 Championships coming up in Gävle in July. Ingebrigtsen now moving to the front. Andrew Bouchard and Sam Atkin getting into a good position as well. Ingebrigtsen just looking so relaxed. I'm sure his only worry is whether he's recovered from his 1500-meter heats. Well, he was the fastest man in those heats, 3:42. It's a tough double, having to run 4 races in 3 days. Of course, Laura Muir did it in the women's events last time around in Belgrade 2 years ago. So, coming up for 2 laps to go, 400 meters, Ingebrigtsen leading with Andrew Bouchard and Jimmy Gressier second and third. Sam Atkin up there, Bedrani on the inside. So now a group of 7 away. Coming up to hear the bell. 200 meters to go, 7 men in contention. Jakob Ingebrigtsen leads the way. Andrew Bouchard on his shoulder. Florian Orth coming through, coming from the back. There's a bit of pushing and shoving between the Swede and Sam Atkin. Well, Bouchard now starting to pour it on. 50 meters to go. Bouchard now has clear sight of the line. Ingebrigtsen looking around, looking very confident. Bedrani coming through on the inside. So it's going to be Ingebrigtsen, Bedrani, Bouchard and Florian Orth coming around the outside to take the 4th automatic qualifying place. 7:51.21. Good time for a heat of the 3,000 meters at the European Indoor Championships.
On the track, we're ready for the men's 3,000 meters final. Let's welcome the competitors at the athlete entrance.
And here is the wonderful Jakob Ingebrigtsen, still just 19 years of age, and already with a host of titles to his credit. So off they go on their 15 laps of the track, a little bit of jockeying for position. No one seems very keen on taking out the running until now. There we go. So the race is going to be run at a respectable pace after all. It looked for a while as if we were going to have an early jog, which we do sometimes in these championship distance races, but no. And it's Henrik Ingebrigtsen. Well, there was some speculation that the Ingebrigtsens might make it a slow pace, actually, and Jakob coming up to join the elder brother. Well, if it was a slow pace, I think Jakob could certainly handle anything, but then so too could Chris O'Hare, who's moved up to 1,500 meters. So it is the Norwegian brothers who are at the head of the field. Sam Atkin of Great Britain just on the inside there. Not especially quick. We'll take a check on that when they come up to the 400-meter point with Henrik Ingebrigtsen in the lead. But no, he's being overtaken, and they are coming up to 67.49 at the 400-meter point. So we've joined the 3,000 meters. They went through the first kilometer in 2:48. The Ingebrigtsen brothers trying to dominate the race. Parsons on the outside. Chris O'Hare actually took the lead at one stage because he was determined not to let the Ingebrigtsen's totally dominate this race. O'Hare back there is in 5th place. With the long-haired Parsons next to the Ingebrigtsen brothers. Leigh Anderson of Sweden coming up. A little bit of jockeying for position. Leigh Anderson in the yellow and blue of Sweden is getting prominent, but the whole field pretty closely bunched together because it's not especially quick. So the order just chopping and changing a bit, but Jakob Ingebrigtsen with Henrik on the inside. Jakob Ingebrigtsen followed by Leigh Anderson, then Henrik Ingebrigtsen coming up on the outside, the German Orff.
I was going to throw in, just as a point of comparison, in the heat yesterday when Ingebrigtsen set a European under-20 best, that was 2:39 for the first kilometre.
Yeah, well, I'm sure this will get quicker, of course, later on, but nonetheless, it is a pretty slow opening pace. They're not particularly interested in going for times. What they want to do is get the medals. Cavall leading now, the Ingebrigtsens. Meanwhile, back on the 3,000 metres, not much has changed. It's still Cavall leading Jakob Ingebrigtsen, then Henrik Ingebrigtsen, then Chris O'Hare with Leigh Anderson just outside him. Leigh Anderson moving up at that point, Orff just behind them. Building in intensity, they're coming up to the 2-kilometre point now. And they'll go through that in 5:32.04. So I think we can expect, rather like we did in the women's race, a very fast final kilometre. Jakob Ingebrigtsen looks so easy in 2nd place though, but just behind Cavall. Leigh Anderson on the inside with Henrik Ingebrigtsen just behind him. O'Hare tracking those leading ones. But the whole field still together. And we're coming up to 4 laps to go now. And Jakob Ingebrigtsen back into the lead, and Henrik goes with him. The two brothers, with Cavall in 3rd, Leigh Anderson in 4th. And Bedrani is well placed, the Frenchman as well. I've mentioned him before. O'Hare running a little bit wide to stay out of trouble, but following Leigh Anderson. Two Ingebrigtsens, Leigh Anderson, Bedrani, O'Hare. Just a little push at the side. They're still jockeying for positions. Jakob perhaps just stepping up the pace just that little bit. The Ingebrigtsen brothers have it at the moment. O'Hare, of course, who's now in 3rd, has a 1,500-metre runner's finish. And then Leigh Anderson. Then Bedrani just behind him. Bartelsmeyer taking closer order as well. It's 2 laps to go. And it's the Ingebrigtsens with O'Hare, Leigh Anderson and Bedrani. Those 5 getting clear. The 2 Ingebrigtsens getting clear. Jakob leading Henrik. Or the other way around, I'm sorry. Yes, it's the 2 Ingebrigtsen brothers really going well. Jakob staying on the shoulder of his elder brother. Jakob with such talent, even Henrik has to acknowledge that. They go through the bell together. O'Hare in 3rd place, Leigh Anderson in 4th, Bedrani then behind him. They're well clear of the rest of the field. The battle on, but the crowd are cheering because they can see Chris O'Hare making a really strong bid here. It's still Jakob, then Henrik, then Chris O'Hare. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, though, this brilliant 19-year-old stretching away from the field. A really classy run. He's adding yet another medal to his brilliant talent. How many more have they got to come? And O'Hare just takes it from Henrik Ingebrigtsen, who falls across the line. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, our winner here. Chris O'Hare will be a popular medalist for Scotland, and Henrik Ingebrigtsen makes it 2 brothers who will step onto the victory podium. But what a talent Jakob Ingebrigtsen is. And remember, he's got the 1,500 to come.
Well, his brother Henrik Ingebrigtsen tried everything to break him. When it came from down to the race, there was no brotherly love there, but Jakob Ingebrigtsen just had everything to respond. It was a tactically perfect race from Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
But he has got that European under-20 record again, despite the slow start. Oh no, I'm misreading it. I thought it was 7:50.15 and it's 7:56.15.
But the accolade he does have is he's the youngest ever European indoor individual medalist. Now, this man's already won one gold medal yesterday. The 3,000 metres, becoming the youngest ever European indoor champion. Jakob Ingebrigtsen. From the inside, Probst of Germany, Lewandowski, Poland, Bebendorf, Germany, Ingebrigtsen, Norway, Fitzgibbon, Great Britain, Denisiel, France, Gomez, Spain, and Sazanek, the very good 22-year-old Czech. Well, it's Probst, noted front runner, and he's decided to take up his familiar position at the front of the echelon. Denisiel on his shoulder, and Jakob Ingebrigtsen. Well, rather leisurely opening lap and a half. Nobody willing to make the pace. So it's Probst, Denisiel, Ingebrigtsen and Gomez, with Marcin Lewandowski in 5th place, tucked on the curb at the moment. It's turning into the usual tactical affair that we so often see at major championship finals. Not sure it's such a good idea, because the likes of Lewandowski and Ingebrigtsen have got fantastic finishes, so for the other 6 men, it might not be the best of tactics if they want to challenge for a medal. Sazanek also a very fast finisher, the Czech back in the penultimate position at the moment. And now Ingebrigtsen just moving up. Onto the shoulder of Jesus Gomez, the Spanish champion. 4 laps to go, 800 metres.
It was interesting there. I mean, as soon as Ingebrigtsen looked as if he was going to make a move, Gomez immediately responded. But having taken the lead, he slowed it a bit.
Well, I have to say, with Lewandowski and Ingebrigtsen in this field, I'm a bit surprised that some of the other runners aren't trying to string it out. Particularly Probst, who has a good times to his credit and a good career record in the under-23 ranks. But it's still Gomez in front with 3 laps to go. 2:21.30 at 900 metres. Still pretty leisurely pace. Now Ingebrigtsen looks as though he's starting to just wind it up slightly.
And Lewandowski placed very nicely. He's in 3rd place, just covering those front, making sure he's not boxed in.
Denisiel in 4th, Probst in 5th, Sazanek in 6th at the moment. Well, 400 metres to go. Ingebrigtsen swerves around Gomez. Gomez gives him a tap, and now Ingebrigtsen starting to head for home. Lewandowski now working hard in 3rd place. Bit of daylight between the leading 3, back to Denisiel.
57 seconds for the last 400. This is different.
Well, Ingebrigtsen now coming up to hear the bell. Lewandowski on his shoulder. Lewandowski hits the front. Lewandowski now making his challenge for the gold. Ingebrigtsen now following him. Gomez starting to get detached. Gomez drifting back. Still in 3rd place, the Spaniard. This is the battle for the gold medal as they come off the bend for the last time. It's Lewandowski in front. Ingebrigtsen behind him. Has Ingebrigtsen got enough in his legs? No, it's Lewandowski pulling away to defend his title. Marcin Lewandowski takes gold, denies Jakob Ingebrigtsen a historic double, but a terrific race, tactically astute. Marcin Lewandowski defends his title and takes once again the European Indoor 1500 metres crown.
marks.
Tysiąc 500 metrów mężczyzn. Finał! Wicemistrz Europy z Glasgow, Jakob Ingebrigtsen!
On your mark. just as the race got underway, there was a bit of holding hands, a bit of jostling for position involving a Czech athlete towards the back. I think that was Sasinek, because Frisch is near the front there. So Lewandowski on the inside and practically having a Rozmish for the company, another who's doubled up here, and there's a few races, rounds to get through. That's what it's all been about. But these men, in fact, they didn't have a semi-final to negotiate. We had 15 entries, 41 of which, in fact, had improved indoors this year. No semi-final, and therefore straight through to tonight. Jakob Ingebrigtsen now leading at the front from Lewandowski and Gomez. So slightly different order, but the same top three as they finished in Glasgow 2 years ago. Now Ingebrigtsen against Lewandowski, the key battle royale here. I'll say Jakob has now improved so much since that race even in Glasgow, and of course that was just one of the events where he made a big international breakthrough in the 3,000 metres. But Jakob, who's now 20, did actually beat Marcin Lewandowski by 5 seconds in that recent race, where he set that new European indoor record. Incredible to think that he's doing that at such a young age. Just the two Ingebrigtsen brothers, I think, at this event. Philip unfortunately didn't make it out of the heats, but Jakob can reign supreme out front. Just how long can the pack stay with this pace? So you can see 3:40 pace just at the moment. And many athletes hanging on to this, including Neil Gourley. Introduced so far, so we've barely got a chance to mention Gourley, but that new 3:35.79 best for the world finalist. Gomez of Spain, ahead of his teammate Fontes, who's back in 6th place at the moment. But you've got 2 Poles and 2 Spaniards fairly near the sharp end of this race. Well, you've got the battle between Ingebrigtsen and Lewandowski, who's on home turf here, and trying to add his name to the history books, which he's already done so over so many years. And fantastic to think really that he's setting a new indoor best at the grand age of 33. Ingebrigtsen, 13 years his junior, trying to climb even higher than 5th on the all-time indoor list for 1,500 metres. They hit the bell, 3:38 pace here. Ingebrigtsen trying to avenge defeat from 2 years ago. Lewandowski isn't finished just yet, and look at Gomez, perhaps while we're watching the front two to battle once again. We're forgetting about Gomez, who's still very much there on this last lap. Jakob Ingebrigtsen is seen off Lewandowski, and he's the champion, age 20. What a talent. Lewandowski beaten by 5 seconds in that recent race in France. Closer this time around, but in the end he's beaten by a tremendous young Norwegian champion.
Representing Spain, representant
On your marks.
Straight to the front. Well, the first few hundred metres always quick, so don't worry too much about the pace charts at this stage. Let's see how it looks a couple of laps into this race. Everybody just sorting themselves out, getting into their rhythms, trying to avoid trouble. I was impressed with Katir in his heat, the Spaniard. Katir was the Spanish indoor champion back in 2019. Only second this time around, but nevertheless he's had some good runs on the international circuit and is capable of running very fast indeed. Ingebrigtsen's personal best isn't wickedly fast. 7:49. Many of these men have actually run faster than him, and that may be the answer. But who's going to be daring enough to take it on? 500 metres undergone, and we're at almost exactly 8-minute pace. It's a nice little innovation, I think. Display on the left-hand side of your screen, Ingebrigtsen, and this will suit Ingebrigtsen down to the ground, keeping it steady. Once it gets beyond 8 minutes pace, maybe those 3 previous races will start to tell. Although having said that, when you consider that he was double gold medalist in Berlin at the age of 18 over 1500 metres and 5000 metres, I don't think too many races face him excessively. Katia now moving up. Katia, the Spaniard, with a rather ungainly running style, but it is effective. He is quick. Fastest man in Europe this year with that blue bib on him. So we're now 300 metres from home, and it really is starting to crank up. They're going to come into the home straight now for the penultimate time, and they're going to hear the bell very shortly. And it's Ingebrigtsen, Katia, Kimeli. That's the 1, 2, 3 at the moment with Michel, and then daylight back to the rest. Ingebrigtsen now starting to go through the gears with 200 metres to go. He's looking around. Katia working so hard to try and stay with him, but Ingebrigtsen now starting to pull away from the rest. Kimeli trying to get around Katia, finding his way blocked, and Ingebrigtsen's home and away. That long surge from 600 metres out. Kimeli gets himself through on the inside to take the silver, and Michel of Spain gets the bronze. Well, a 2:21, 2:22 for those purposes of argument. Last kilometre. Personal best for Ingebrigtsen, and he still doesn't look that much out of breath. 3 top-class races before this, and he's still got enough in the tank to take the gold medal and set a personal best over 15 laps of the track.